And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Ryan Metzler.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to be taking a look at an abstract strategy game. In particular, one from the GIPF series of games. We're going to take a look at YINSH, which revolves around moving these little circular pieces in order to try and place some discs on the board of your own color to get 5 in a row in order to take one of your playing pieces off of the board and score a point. And the first person to get 3 of their own pieces off of the board is going to be the winner. It's very simple. It plays only 2 players. It plays pretty quickly, about 20 minutes, and about ages 8 and up. So real quick, we'll take a look at what you get inside here and how you play the game, and then we'll come back here and get my opinion on this abstract strategy. So here you can see the board for YINSH, and this is all set up for a game. These pieces are placed by the players before the game in whatever positions they like in order to best strategize how they'd like to play their game. Now, I don't have a strategy yet, but I just kind of randomly place my pieces out. Anyhow, this is, as you can tell, probably an abstract game, and each player has 5 rings. And these rings are going to be pieces they move around the board in order to accomplish their objective. That objective is to put these pieces onto the board, either white or black on the opposing side, in order to try and get 5 in a row of these. Now, this is going to change as the game, the color is going to change on them by being jumped over by your opponent's rings, or maybe even by your own rings. But essentially, on your turn, you have your choice of moving any one of your rings around the board. And as I said, you're trying to get 5 in a row of these little pieces. Before you move a piece, you're going to take one of these separate pieces. You're going to drop it in the center of the ring that you want to move on the appropriate color, so white is moving. And then you're going to move this piece as far as you like in a straight line along any of these axes. So you'll see here I can move whichever way I want. Maybe I just want to move up to here. That's fine. At this point, it's now black's turn, so that is one whole turn. Black would now choose a ring to move, and they can place their ring in, or their centerpiece in the center there, and now they can move this piece as long as they want in a straight line, so long as it's not really interrupting any other pieces. Once they reach a piece, one of these pieces, not one of the ring pieces, they may jump over it. And they could jump over any number of pieces in a straight line as long as they weren't interrupted by any blank spaces. All of the pieces they jump over are going to flip to the opposite side. So you'll see, by jumping over pieces, this person has now made the white piece black, so it's their own color now. And then again, it would be white's turn. So now maybe white wants to move, and they place their piece here, and they decide they're going to jump back over black's piece here, changing it back to a white. Now, this gets a little crazy sometimes as you have longer rows to jump over. So let's say throughout the game, we had ended up with a situation like this somehow. And it's black's move, and they would like to move this piece over here. This is fine. They'll drop this piece in the center, and they will jump over all 3 of these pieces, and they will all flip to their opposite color. So you'll see here, you can kind of try and devise a strategy with all of your different pieces to try and get 5 in a row. Right now, black only has 1, 2 in a row. They're going to be able to move this piece on their next turn, which would give them 3 in a row. But maybe they want to try and get this piece flipped over by getting another piece in position to move and then jump over it to flip it to black. Once you do manage to get 5 in a row, you're going to take the 5 pieces off the board. And this is a great example here. There's actually 6 in a row. You're going to choose which 5 you want to take off the board. It could be the 5 over here or the 5 over here, but either way, you're going to take all 5 of them off of the board and return them to the supply. In addition, you're going to take any one of your rings off of the board, and this is going to give you 1 fewer playing piece, but give you 1 point towards winning the game. The end objective of the game is to get 3 of your rings off of the board by making 3 rows of 5 in your own color, taking them off of the board, and essentially outmaneuvering your opponent before they can get 3 of their own rings to their own side. And that is YINSH. By far my favorite of the GIPF series so far. Now, I've only played 4 of the 6 or 7 games in the series, depending on how you want to look at it. But this one is the most interesting while still being one of the more simplistic in terms of movement and play strategy. The game is an awful lot like checkers in terms of part of the game. You're simply moving one piece, jumping over some other pieces, and instead of taking the piece, you're switching it over to the opposite side. but more like chess in terms of the depth of strategy that you can try and think about sometimes. Maybe you want to try and position pieces so that you can steal an opponent's row of pieces, or maybe you just want to set your pieces up so that it's impossible for your opponent to flip yours over. Because you can't jump over those rings, you could put your ring at the end of a long line and prevent your opponent from jumping over them from that direction at least. So there's a high level of strategy while maintaining simplistic play, and I think that makes this a great abstract strategy game. Definitely one that I plan on keeping in my collection. It goes right up there with Hive, and in my opinion, we also have Epigo, which is a great strategy game. All nice, elegant, simple strategy games with low amounts of luck, or no luck in this case, that are great for any age of gamer.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.